Teddy Talks With features Mario C. Bauer in conversation with the stars of the F&B industry. Join Mario and his guests as they explore what motivation, success, and most importantly, love for food mean. Because in life, only two things matter: love and food. Learn more on www.teddytalkswith.com.
Welcome at Teddy Talks today with the real Daddy, Marcel, one of the older Daddy. He just looks so young and cool. So thanks for hosting us. Today we're in Thunderbird.
Excellent, thanks for coming down.
In the O2, and we will come back to that. But before we talk about the concept and your vision and the food, I want to talk about your childhood and how you grew up, because everything now is about food and about people, and I want to understand how important was food in your childhood? When you grew up, what role did food play in your childhood?
A big role. So I'm half Dutch, half Pakistani. I was born in Holland, but my father was from Pakistan, but he wouldn't cook very often. So I'm 53. So this is like way back in the Stone Ages, and the gender roles between my mom and dad were very traditional. So he wouldn't cook very often, but whenever he cooked, it was in Holland. The food is quite plain. You know, especially back, I was born in 65, so in the 70s, meat, potatoes.
Croquettes.
Yeah, and on your birthday, you get chicken. Funny if you get but once a month or so, my father would cook. And it was always such a celebration. And people from the rest of the family would come over because it was such a big deal. So that's the first time I remember just food being a big deal. And we used to always get to choose our meals on our birthday.
Nice.
And that was it. But I guess the food really kicked in for me as a work thing. I had my first job in a restaurant, in the school cafeteria when I was 14. And I sort of
just saw it like as, let's try it out, or you were committed to stay in that industry?
No, absolutely not. I had no interest in any other industry other than the arts. So I used to be a professional dancer. I used to dance with Le Ballet Jazz de Montreal in Toronto. I had a leg injury. I went into music. I did music for 10 years. And like most starving artists, I just worked in restaurants with bartending,
so it's
bar
a backup
back waitering.
It was
yeah, absolutely. I just drifted into it. Yeah.
So talking about music, because when we last met, I remember you said, I'm a failed rock star.
Yeah.
So you realized at one level you cannot do that, or you're not breaking through, or why not following that dream or follow that dream?
Well, I was quite a slow learner. It took me about 10 years to figure out that I was absolutely rubbish. But for 10 years, I thought I was the greatest thing in the world. I think the problem was that I was the only person that thought that. And the lady who's now my wife for 24 years was the first person that said, do you know anyone that's not A, your friend, or B, related to you that actually likes your music? And the answer to that question was no. So then it's like, oh my God, yeah, I guess I've been trying this for 10 years to not much success. And you just wake up one day and go, yeah, I guess maybe that was a dream that was never good. I still love music. And music is a huge part of my life. But I was never going to be the guy.
But you're the guy in the restaurant industry, because you have a quite impressive career. When I think about that, I mean, there's quite only a handful of concepts here in the UK will really grow big, like huge. And in two of them, you have been majorly involved. That's Nando's and that's Five Guys. And that's massive. And I think especially when we talk about operation and scaling, so I want to cover that a little bit before we come to the main topic, what is Thunderbird, because all the learnings what you had there obviously are part of that. Yeah. So when you now look back, Nando's success story, Five Guys success story, can you share a little bit how much you scaled them, how many you opened, that our viewers get a little bit of feeling what was done there and what does it mean to scale concepts here? Can you share?
Sure. I think, look, I've been incredibly blessed in my career. I was blessed with zero talent in music, but in my career I've been blessed to work with just incredible human beings and incredible concepts. Nando's, the brainchild of Robbie Enthoven from South Africa. I joined when they had 35 restaurants, left when they had, I think, 275. I was MD for North London, which is actually quite a small patch of Nando's, but I was there for 10 years and learned so much. Out of there, went to Five Guys, was part of the core team of 4 people who launched Five Guys and throughout the UK, France, Spain, and Germany. took that from 0 to about 100 restaurants. That was a 5-year journey. So between those two jobs, that was 15 years.
I think it was the fastest growth ever in that country on opening of restaurants, correct?
It was, yeah.
What does it mean on systems? What I mean, yes, it's an established concept in US, but you needed to start from scratch here. So what was the parameter you built that growth on?
With Five Guys in particular, I mean, Nando's is very much a moving feast at all times, and we can come back to that if you like. But in terms of Five Guys, the one thing that is just incredibly robust and the best I've ever seen are the systems and the processes behind food production. So the offset in certain parts of the kitchen, are measured for optimum food production and productivity. And to this day, it's a family business. The Five Guys are actually 5 sons. They don't have board meetings. They have family meetings every Tuesday. There's one person in that room whose last name is not Morel, and that's a guy called Sam Chamberlain, who's the chief operating officer. But if you want to change something about a Five Guys recipe, your last name has to be Morel. If you want to change a pickle, so they're incredibly, all the processes around food were so well defined and really just incredibly well designed just by doing it at incredible scale and volume for so many years, 25 years. So that's something we didn't have to figure out. That's something that came over from the States and was in the toolbox. In terms of everything else, it was, well, what should it look like and feel like? And we made a few adjustments to the concept in terms of look and feel, made them a bit more comfortable, various levels of seating, a bit more focus on ambience and music. Huge effort behind service, because I think in America, great service you can almost take for granted.
True.
So it's not something they ever had to teach in Five Guys in America. But here that was very different. So it was recruiting a certain type of person and making sure they're service oriented, and they wanted to create perfect burgers really fast and a lot of them. And B, do that with a smile on their face and with open hearts and with total positive energy. So that's where the focus was.
Incredible success story. But now I want to come here to Thunderbird Chicken, because now people who know you, like doing Nando's, doing Five Guys, you probably could have picked the job and then you go, let's call it startup compared to this too.
Yeah.
Why? What was the impulse, or what caused you to say, let's join Thunderbird? What was the why?
I think there's two things. I think the product and the food that Matt's come up with, and the way he's come up with just incredible recipes.
So Matt is the founder.
Matt is the founder, yeah. Was a huge draw. I fell in love with the food, which is pretty damn important. And B, the team behind it. It's backed by Trispan.
Yeah.
And the people involved in that are Robin Rowland, who's a person I've known for many years, and also just have unbelievable levels of respect for. Always kind of wanted to work with him. Brandon Stevens, founder of Tortilla, is involved. A good friend of mine, and so it was
team.
Yeah, it was something. It was a fun team, a well-resourced team, not just financially, but actually in terms of experience and total integrity. So good people to work with, fun people to work with, and a product that I think whose time has come. Which is better chicken. A lot of chicken on the market.
Epic fried chicken. Oh, here we go. That was not coordinated, guys. But
there we go.
Oh la la! Thank you. So what we're gonna have here? Tell me. A bucket.
We have a bucket of chicken,
okay.
And we have a ton of chicken wings, which is what we do.
We show that first here, and then we start eating.
Sure.
So we have 3 different chicken wings here.
We do.
Tell me about the food.
I'll tell you a little bit about the food.
Because you said you came for the food, so...
Absolutely. And the interesting... It actually, Thunderbird's journey started with this wing.
This wing?
Yeah. And Matt was a race car driver in America whose race car career went very much the same as my rock and roll career. So
he's a failed... That's fine. He's a failed NASCAR driver and a failed rock star.
There you go.
Here we go.
So his racing career just didn't take off. It was in the middle of the financial crash. His backing fell through. So he was stuck in America without effectively the career that he wanted. So he drove around just eating the food in the southern states, and particularly lots of fried chicken. came back here, went into some job I don't even know, but he hated it. And one day got blind drunk, bought an ambulance off eBay, decided to start a street food business. An ambulance. And he started doing something called Barbecue Lab in all the curb market and the different street food markets in London. One day he put chicken wings on the menu, and they started selling really well. 2 months later, represented at Wingfest, which is, I don't know if have you ever been to Wingfest? It's just an incredible gathering of all of London's best wing slingers, sort of facing off against each other. And Matt's wing was the Chipuffalo wing.
This one.
That's this one.
So this is the product.
This is I would say the hero product.
Big one. If I get messy, you need
there
to
we go. It's there's no clean way of eating these, by the way. So it's there you go.
This podcast is brought to you by the Curtis Brothers, creators of artisanal organic ketchup, guaranteed to tickle the taste buds of foodies, entrepreneurs and teddy bears around the world. Learn more on www.curtisbrothers.com.
Wow. So what's the topping of that? Wow. Lemon was in there. Lemon.
This is Matt's version of a buffalo wing. And in the same way as our chicken, how do you do chicken but better? And he pulled various tricks in making it better, hopefully. So it was not let's take a complete left turn and do really weird and wacky things with chicken. Let's just take what's out there and make it better. And what's interesting about this wing...
That's the best seller, so...
That's where it sort of started. And what's interesting about that, the gentleman that just dropped off this wing actually designed... This is not on our menu. This is a Dominator X. It's very spicy. I hope that's okay.
Wow.
Because Dom, who used to work with me actually at Five Guys, and is our head of training, and supports our operation and supports Matt in really taking his ideas and making them reality. It was like, how can we pimp up our hero product? And so we call this Dominator X, and it's basically an extra hot version. So it's not on our menu, but if you walk into any of our stores and say, hey, you got a special hot surprise for me, they'll serve you
it's
a
like
Dom X.
the secret menu on In-N-Out, so you're okay.
Yeah, and it's just for people who want a little bit hotter. So if somebody walks up and says, it's quite hot. It's I love that wing. So once you start playing that, then you can really do interesting things. The other wing I've brought is a salted caramel
Alex,
wing.
could you get us some fries, please? Thanks.
It's a salted caramel wing. So if a chicken wing was a dessert,
wow,
it might taste a little something like that.
Guys, a chicken dessert! Here we go!
But it's not just the caramel, it punches through
But
with a bit of smoke, a bit of
probably
orange.
lovers and people who said, I will never eat a sweet chicken, huh? Polarizes.
This is our absolute most divisive product on the menu.
I can imagine.
And actually, when I'm working in the stores, and I talk to people, what should I try? I'm always, try this one, because you'll love it or you hate it, but if you hate it, you won't pay for it.
That's a good one.
And I'd say, 50% of the people love it, and the other 50 absolutely are like,
I would go for that.
Give me a barbecue wing instead.
The question for me always when we meet people in the industry who wants to invest or diversify, it's always the big thing, what should they do? And at the end of the day, there was I would say the decade of the premium burger, obviously the big guys like the Five Guys and the Shake Shacks, but all the local guys, the Byrons, and every country had their premium burger. So the market got really, really occupied. But nobody really did chicken. So my question is, because you were part of Nando's, you have the big guy out there, the KFC, then you have the Nando's, but only that country. And that's it, more or less. You obviously have great one-offs, but if you talk about chain things, so why do you think there is such a respect or whatever that not more people move into this chicken field? Because KFC is a cash cow, Nando's is a cash cow, that hopefully is a cash cow. So why? Oh la la! Thank you.
Thanks, man.
Thank you. So obviously we need to eat some ketchup. So I forgot the fries. So why do you think chicken, by being that profitable, and also people like it, why there's not more in the chicken field? Why do you think that?
Well, I think I don't know, which is why we're doing it. We think there's an opportunity. But I think one of the things that people forget, and just how much people love chicken, the chicken shop, and it's a London phenomenon, but the chicken shop where people go for a box of chicken is a real religion amongst young people. And most restaurant marketeers and brand experts forget it. But Morley's in South London is an absolute religion for lots of South Londoners. If you go up to North London, you've got Sam's. They've got a ton of units. So people forget about that. And Matt's view and my view is, well, let's try that, but just make it better. So it's not about taking a left turn. And very much like the pizza market, where you had established players, and then you had Frank and Manca, Pizza Pilgrims, just doing an amazing job, taking that to the next level. Same with burgers.
And what about, here's a bucket. There's one brand that stands for the bucket. That's obviously KFC. How you see how you see the big guy in the industry, KFC, moving? Do they react on that chicken movement? What's your opinion on them?
Something, I think I'm a huge fan. First thing I'll say is I'm a huge fan of KFC today. If you'd have asked me 2.5 years ago, I'd say it was a tired brand. And I think the really admirable thing is that they probably realized that as well. It was tired. They were preaching to a converted church, but they weren't growing their church of users. And my opinion, I don't know if this is true or not, is that they looked at the change leader, which is McDonald's. And I think anyone in our industry that doesn't look at what McDonald's is doing at any given time is missing a huge trick, because they try so many things and they really put everything through its paces, from technology to menu development, and really forward-thinking company. And I think KFC probably took a hard look at themselves and said, how do we just become better? And I don't think they imitated McDonald's, but they say, how do we become our best KFC? And so the last 2 years of their journey, I think, has been inspirational. And I think they're doing an amazing job at being the best KFC. But what we're trying to do is a little bit different. And if you think of KFC as the McDonald's in the player, I would call us the Five Guys or the Shake Shack or the Bleecker Burger or what have you.
So what's the concept built around? We have here great wings. We obviously have amazing bucket. We're in a very fast, casual ambience, very, very rough. It was grown up basically out of food halls and food festivals, and now you you make a scalable concept out of it. What's the vision? Like how big that? You now have 5 units, I think.
We have 5. Well, we have 2 street food units with London Union. We have one in Brixton Market, which is not quite street food. It's not quite a proper restaurant. We have one here in the O2, which operates very differently from any other trading environment. And then we have one high street location. It's a tiny shop in London, Villiers Street, high footfall. So we're trying lots of different things. And that was always the idea, is take something that takes street food, drop it in a few different locations, take a pause, learn, and make the necessary adjustments. And by learning, it's talk to your customers, understand what's working well. Do we look the same way we're going to look in 6 months, 12 months? And the answer is no. This is very much the start of a journey. Where it's going to end, we've got incredible ambition.
What's your gut feeling at the moment in terms of size and concept? Will you need to change the menu? Do you stay with the counter service? You were running a different service model at Nando's. Is there any decision already for which direction you're going to go?
I don't see us moving away from counter service.
Okay.
I don't see us going into huge units. I think the optimum size unit. Yeah, I think this is probably a little bigger than we're going to go for as a blueprint model. I think 40 seats rather. I think is probably our optimum size. We're not looking to build restaurants that are going to take the volume of a Dishoom or a Five Guys in the middle of town. So it's a model that's aimed at current reality of doing business. So smaller footprint, quick throughput, a price point that's hopefully compelling for a great quality product. But in terms of the menu content,
how much would I spend here, like average, if I come to you?
If you spend a tenner, you're gonna leave with a full stomach, a smile on your face, and you'll have a nice drink to wash it down. And that's where we want to be. But the menu is not what it's going to be. And I think that transition from street food to a mainstream offering is a journey, and we're very much at the start of that journey, and we'll try, whether it's a Dominator X or a dessert type wing. And these are things we're gonna try. But our menu content, 100%. We're actually designing our next menu for our next restaurant, and already it's going to have some changes. We're trialing tenders, for example, in Villiers Street, and we put them on the menu last week. And in the first week, I think they took 22% of sales, and the feedback is absolutely amazing.
To the client.
This podcast is brought to you by the Curtis Brothers, creators of artisanal organic ketchup. Guaranteed to tickle the taste buds of foodies, entrepreneurs and teddy bears around the world. Learn more on www.curtisbrothers.com.
When you now, you have 5 units, and we were chatting before, and you said in a year we have 7 to 10 more. For everybody who has never done that, guys, to double, or more than double, triple actually, within a year, it's like crazy in terms of system. What are the big watch outs, you think, because you've done it twice, when you go from a very hands-on, emotional, everybody knows everybody has every mobile number from everyone in their phone, and you suddenly don't have 5 units, but you have 15.
Yeah.
What is the main thing you're looking at in this first phase of growth? How you did that? How are you going to do that?
Well, funny enough, you just used a key word there, which is the emotional connection. And I think for everyone that's in the business right now, you have to have a total emotional commitment to what this business is going to be, which means everyone is working harder than they probably should. Everyone is assuming more roles, and the roles aren't very defined. So if you're in our finance department, there's every chance in the world that you'll be in the restaurants counting stock. Mm-hmm. And we're moving some equipment around next week we're taking a larger unit in Giant Robot with Street Feast, and it's all hands on deck. So all of us will be moving around the equipment. So everyone does everything, and the benefit of that is that you start growing a family, and you have that commitment to each other, and hopefully to the brand as well. And with that commitment, and with a foundation like that, I think you then hopefully take the best out of people in making things better. And I'll have certain things that I'm hopefully pretty good at, but have a ton of things that I'm not very good at. So I can't help Matt come up with better recipes. I can tell him what I think the customers want, because I'm pretty good at reading the market, I guess. But someone like Dom, our trainer, will say, hey, try this. And not only try it, but try and use this cooking process, because he was with me at Five Guys. So the importance of a process.
Trial and error, listen, react.
And create great products, but at the same time, a huge focus on the processes behind those products. And that's a blue sky we're aiming for. We come from street food, so that doesn't exist, and that's going to take us a while to figure out.
What's a no-go? It seems now, and I think it's right, that you challenge everything, from probably portion size till pricing till whatever. What's a no-go? What you say, okay, we challenge everything, but this is a parameter our brand, our vision, our mission is built on. What's the cornerstone right now already where you say this is, we maybe challenge that, but we're not going to change it?
I guess, the one thing, we don't want to be the cool kids. We don't want to be a cooler KFC. We want to be a better KFC. And I say that with, as we talked about, with immense respect for KFC. So that's a huge challenge. We're not saying we're here, we're better than KFC. We're here and we're saying we want to be better. And we're going to push ourselves. And hopefully one day we will be better. We may never be bigger. In fact, it'd be a miracle if we were. But can we be better? Yeah, I think we can.
What do you mean by not cooler? What do you mean by that?
I guess I want to be accessible to everyone. Suits, the boiler suits, families, the business lunches. I don't want to be
like clientele, like you're for everybody, not exclusive but inclusive.
Yeah, and I don't want to be an Instagram brand where everything looks great, but actually, we want everything to look great.
I'm just so sad. I came home from a 2 weeks fasting, and I'm not till end of the year vegetarian, so I cheated, guys. But I only took the bites, but I could finish that all. I'm craving for that. I understand, and I think that's the right direction. By the way, who is responsible for the playlist?
That would be me.
So how you correct? Because now I need to ask. So this is the remaining rock star.
Well, a little bit. We actually do something called Thunderbird Music Club, and we have posters in all the restaurants where
so you don't
we
give
say,
up. You don't give up.
I don't give up, but I share a little bit of it. And whether you're a crew member or a customer, if you send. And every month we say, just send us some songs that you'd like to hear on the Thunderbird playlist. And for anything that makes it on, we send them some chicken vouchers so they come in. So I always have lots of new music to listen to that our customers and our crews send us. And keeping that updated and keeping that, everything's about energy. So whether it's music or lighting or furniture or the feel, that movement, energy is created, and you have to support that. And music, for me, is just such a
so
massive
guys,
part
send Marcel an email with some songs. The last part, and then we changed the gears. Which song? Because I need to go back to that. You think represents the current status of the business? Which song or which vision behind a song represents where you currently are?
That's a great question. In fact, possibly the best question I've ever been asked in business. I would say "Don't Stop Me Now" by Queen.
Don't Stop Me Now.
And the reason is, it's joyous, and it's fun, and it has energy. And actually, the way we feel at Thunderbird is, don't stop us now. We're having too much fun. We're going to rock and roll until we get it right. And getting it right, we don't know what that means. We don't know how many restaurants. We don't know which countries. But it's going to be an amazing journey. So that would be my answer.
That's a cool one. So now I want to go to another topic. When you now walk through, let's say, the city center of London, you most likely cross at least one, if not two, restaurants you opened. Yeah. You have a connection. You maybe found or co-found or approved the real estate, you hired the restaurant manager, you maybe work there. How you feel about that? Are you proud? Does it touch you, or you already moved on? Or how does it feel?
No, it's the most rewarding, and restaurants and the industry has been incredibly good to me. I come from a relatively humble background. And my life has been blessed not just by amazing jobs, but I get to go skiing in the winter. I've just come back from a summer holiday. My kids wear nice trainers. I can, if a new record comes out, I don't have to think twice. I just get to go out and buy it. And all that's been provided for by the industry. And I think one of the things that gives me the greatest pleasure is being able to pass that opportunity on. And those are opportunities. We talked a little bit about Robbie Enthoven, about Charles Dunstan, and the Morel family. I've benefited greatly, and to be able to be part of an industry where that's passed on is an amazing thing. I think one of the overlooked heroes, funny enough, is McDonald's in taking, I guess, unskilled people into their business. 2 years later, they're running $1 million business. And McDonald's High School is probably more effective in empowering a lot of young people than a lot of other high schools. So I think the industry is incredibly rewarding. So when I bump into people that have come along part of my journey, it's always a pleasure. Whether those were people that sat on top of me or below me. I'm not a hierarchical guy anyway. It's always a pleasure to be reminded, I guess, where you come from.
But when people talk about you, they always say like you're a great leader. People love you, and you really you work with them. What kind of how would you describe your leadership style, or what kind of boss are you?
Okay, well, I hate the word boss. First of all,
leader.
I kind of hate the word leader, actually.
Mentor.
No, I hate that as well. I don't know. I'm not very good with those formulations. I think.
What are you then?
Blessed. No, I think the thing that I'm an optimist. So, and right now I think anyone that you talk to right now that pretends everything is amazing in the UK restaurant industry is probably not a very good poker player, because everything is not okay in the UK for all the reasons that we all know about. And there's lots of things not right, but it's about finding the opportunity. And I guess it's kind of nice to work with people that see the upside. So I describe myself as a failed socialist. I am behaviorally entirely not hierarchical. I think structurally I'm incredibly hierarchical in business. I think everyone has a boss. I report to a board, and people report to me. And I think that hierarchical structure is the only way I know how to work, but behaviorally the opposite. And within that structure, I guess I'm the jazz hands. I'm a bouncy guy, and if 9 out of 10 things are wrong, well, I'll focus on the one that's right. And how do we double that?
I think you're a true teddy bear, and you know the story, and I think you represent that because you see the good what you can do in that situation. When we do the teddy talks, always people send afterwards and said, ask the guys about restaurant tips, etc., because you always interview people who know what they're talking. So for you, I need to rephrase a little bit the question, because you had these 2 milestones of your career. Best chicken outside of Nando's and Thunderbird.
Well, one of the things I should say is that my children, who are now 22 and 20, still haven't forgiven me for leaving Nando's. And I'm in Nando's at least once a month. It still remains part of my chicken religion. Oh God, there's so many amazing players. And that's just in my favorite chicken actually is called Casamingo. Casamingo, but it's not in the UK. It's in Spain. It's in Madrid.
We have listeners from there.
Oh my God, it's been going for like 100 years. The people that work there, I would imagine their average age is about 73, and they just do one type of rotisserie chicken, but it is unbelievable. Here in the UK,
trust this guy, Casamingo.
Casamingo.
Let's go to Madrid, Alex.
Unbelievable.
Book the flights.
But here, the guys, and so much amazing stuff comes out of street food, including chicken. So the guys at Cockfighter, really, really good. Butchies, that's just an amazing product. The guys at Chicken, I think, do a fabulous job. Chicken and Sour is also there. So there's no shortage of inspiration, competition, and great products. And luckily, part of my job is that I get to go try them all.
That's the great thing in our job, or the bad thing. What about the burger? Outside of Five Guys, best burger?
Okay. I've got 2. My absolute favorite burger is a burger called Banners. It's only a one-off restaurant in Crouch End, family-run restaurant. Banners Burger, sensational. And in terms of the multiples, Bleecker is just untouchable. There's a whole bunch of really good ones. I love Patty and Bun, and a couple of the others. But the go-to for me is Bleecker. And the team there are amazing as well. A lady called Nicola has just taken over as ops. With Zan and the team there. So there's a huge energy and just a commitment. Funny enough, the restaurants, I think, say commitment to the burger, and you just feel that. So my answer would be Bleecker.
Cool. Yeah. So what's next with this baby? What's the next 12 to 24 months? Where's the focus? What can people expect?
Learn hard, try lots of things, fail fast, fix things faster, keep moving, and figure it out and figure out our own space. Like I say, there's different players in the market. They'll all have their space at the table, I'm sure. And it's just figuring out what's Thunderbird's space and how is that different, how is it better, and keep the momentum going. So I think like I say, I've been blessed with companies that have had an amazing momentum behind them. Hopefully this one will be similar.
Cool. Yeah. Last question. I need your tip, because I'm also a young entrepreneur, as you know. How would you, if you would be me, how would you scale that product? What do you think about it? What would you do if you run that brand?
I would do exactly what you've done right now, which is pour some out and dip a French fry and then smile. And I think that's what you do very well. And it's an amazing product. It's a better product. So it's all about getting people to try it. And I think you bring a tremendous joy with it. So that, that whole small movement, I think the answer was in the way you posed the question. Because you took a fry, you dipped it, and you smiled. And I think in that, well, just, our industry, our food, it's all about sharing. So I would say just share the love and get it out there.
I think you smile a little bit more because of the fries. So my friend, you get a teddy bear because you're a true teddy bear. And
thank you.
I hug, obviously.
And a hug, there we go. And
a hug.
Well.
And guys, on my risk now, without paying Queen and Freddie, we play now at the end, guys, on my risk. So if somebody wants to sue me, we play now. Don't stop me now, guys. Have fun. Thanks for watching and keep on rocking.
Rock and roll. Thanks so much, man. Amazing. Thank you.
Stay tuned on www.teddytalkswith.com.